Hi, I'm Todd Wente, and this is the Daily 180, 180 seconds of motivation and inspiration intended to help you make progress in your life. Today, we are looking at the continuation or the culmination of our discussion about the either or of negotiable and non negotiable by talking about the and portion of that. You know, Sometimes when we get involved in a discussion about something, we find ourselves polarizing our opinions. We find ourselves saying it has to be this or it has to be this, and there's not a space in the middle where we feel like we can get to. In context of that, I read a book once. The book was called You Can Negotiate Anything. Before I did this, I probably should have looked it up to find the author's name. All I remember was that the author's name, if I remember correctly, first name was Saul. And he was from New Jersey, and he read his own book, and it kind of sounded like it kind of sounded like the typical uncle that you would think of that would come from New Jersey. His voice was a little raspy, and he talked like this through the entire book. And it was actually, I mean, it was quite enjoyable to listen to because I loved the way that he read it. But the stories that he used and the impact that he was trying to put across was, you know what, it's not an either or situation, it's always an and situation. The book was called You Can Negotiate Anything. I think it's still out there. I think you can find it on Amazon or Audible, and it was a fascinating listen. I didn't read it, I listened to it. I acquired a copy later and highlighted it and marked it and did all kinds of things with it. But the thing that was the most impressive to me as I went through the book the first time and the second time was the idea that everything is on the table, and that when you enter a negotiation, that's really how you should look at it. And the other thing that was fascinating to me was that he said it's not about not wanting to do things, it's about how much do you care about doing things to decide which things you're going to keep and which things you're not. That powerful moment of everything's on the table and I care, but not that much, were two powerful pieces for me as I started to identify what's negotiable and what's not negotiable. Time with my family, not negotiable. I need to have some, but how much? That's negotiable. A pleasant working environment, that's not negotiable. But what kinds of things could go into a pleasant working environment? Could those change? Those are negotiable. It's fine to hold on to your non negotiables. And in fact, you should. It's also fair to recognize that your non negotiables will probably change over time. That's fine too. But recognize that sometimes when you're dealing with a non negotiable, even within the non negotiable, there are probably some things that are negotiable, like how it's going to show up or what kinds of aspects we're going to be looking for to say that, yes, the non negotiable is being respected. For me, the idea of and becomes powerful for this. Yes, everything's on the table, but certain things, in order to get them off the table or to make sure that they stay on the table, we'll make some adjustments with them along the way. I hope this has been useful for you. I hope you can find a use for it. I hope you can share this with somebody else that will find some use in it. In the meantime, make sure you hit the subscribe and the bell so you can be notified when we're putting more of these out. And as always, this has been the Daily 180. My name is Todd Wente. Go forth and conquer. We'll see you next time.